what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to the 404 show on this Friday, June 10th. That is the date.
It is.
That is the date of today. I'm happy to be here because across the table, smiling at me like he always does, Mr. Russ Freshtick.
Hello. I'm trying to do the DreamWorks smile. You know that smile where
Nope.
it's like a half smile that all their characters do?
I don't know what the hell that is. Perhaps to explain that is Sadie Gennis from TV Guide. Thank you so much for coming back to the show, Sadie.
Again.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. What's new with you? What are you watching on television right now?
Game of Thrones, obviously, and Unreal just came back for its second season.
Oh, yeah. Everyone loves that show. I've not watched it yet. But I do like Pamela Aldon, I believe her name is.
Oh,
She's in that, right?
From Californication.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't actually know who that is. Or
She was in Louis?
She's in Louis. She's in Louis.
I don't think she's on that show.
Really? I saw an ad for it in the subway. I was like, oh, Pamela Aldon.
She's the voice of Bobby from King of the Hill.
Yeah, also that.
I think you might be confusing her with Constance Zimmer.
Okay, do they look similar?
Maybe.
Like short brunette.
Yeah,
Okay,
short
so maybe I'm
brunette
just
with
confusing.
a bob.
With a bob.
Yeah, okay.
So speaking of Game of Thrones, we're going to spend at least 15 minutes at the end of the show just going at it.
Yeah.
So I will once again pause the show and sort of like throw out a little disclaimer that we're going to get nasty with Game of Thrones. Obviously, when we've got a TV Guide editor here, we need to do some dissecting.
Right.
We need to put on the latex gloves. We need to break out the scalpels, a little bit of the nitrous, and we're going under. Mm-hmm. Okay? We're doing a little bit of surgery. And we're going to talk about the current season of Game of Thrones.
Spoilers.
In which Peter Dinklage has not been on in 2 weeks. But that's fine.
But that's
fine.
At the end of the show.
That's at the end of the show. Again, no spoilers till we get to that point in the program. So other than Game of Thrones, what are you watching?
Well, we just talked about
Unreal.
Yeah, but that's not a show for me, right?
It's a show for everyone.
I think it's interesting. The premise is very interesting.
You would be shocked at how hooked you would get on it.
What network is it on?
Okay. It's on Lifetime.
Go on.
It's basically like the behind the scenes production of a Bachelor reality show. And so you see how the producers sort of manipulate all the contestants into doing horrible things.
That's so meta.
It's sort of like a Larry Sanders, right, for reality. Is that a fair comparison?
I don't know. It's really smart. It's very political. They have like the first black suitor this season, and one of its characters came back after the hiatus, now a men's rights activist. So it's exploring sort of like feminism and the men's rights movement.
Okay.
Is it? It's set in the 90s, you said, or is it modern?
No, it's modern day.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was like early in the days of reality TV, but it's all modern day.
Is it a comedy?
No, it's a drama.
Ah.
It gets really dark.
Because all that shit is dark.
It's super effed up.
It's bad. I'm sorry. I don't know if you like that stuff, like real life Bachelorette stuff, where like they have these poor assholes on TV who are like, I was falling in love with him when I was seventh in line to make out with him. I thought we really shared a connection. It's like, no, you're just being an idiot on TV.
That's why I didn't watch any of the Bachelor shows, but I watched all of the VH1 reality dating shows.
Because those were farces.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
like the what's it called? The
Flavor
Shawn
of
Michaels
Love.
and Flavor of Love. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea of
Bret Michaels.
reality shows sort of taken to the level of self-parody.
Totally.
Right.
And Unreal takes that like a step further and makes it this really intense, smart, soapy drama that
Interesting.
can be really funny too.
Huh.
Yeah. I like Survivor. That's the one reality show I can watch.
That is a great CBS property.
It is.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the most genuine you can get. I guess the race game as well, whatever, Amazing Race.
Oh, no, they're only on CBS.
But the second, you're right. The second it's like, you fall in love with this person forever and ever. Like, all you get is like people that are really obsessed with, themselves, which obviously you get on Survivor too. But there's so much like trumping up like emotion and feeling, and they just give them booze and no food on the first night. So it's do they do that on Unreal? Do they talk about that?
Oh yeah. At one point they figure out one of the girls has an eating disorder and they purposely take away her marker food so that she won't know when to stop puking.
I don't know what marker food is.
It's like she would eat Cheetos so that when she threw up she would know when to stop.
Oh my
Whoa.
God.
It's dark.
I can't believe it's on Lifetime.
Yeah.
Because usually Lifetime's like reserved for like
yeah, but I think that's like a rebrand
bad
effort, right?
stuff.
They want to set them. They don't want to be thought of as like crappy TV movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're sort of trying to. Well, at the same time, like hold on to those movies of the week. They're also trying to move past it.
Let's not get rid of the whole thing.
Well, they're cheap. I mean, they cost nothing to run.
Right.
And they're great. I love them. I will watch them on demand.
That's why I love having Sadie on, because like I've never agreed with someone so often and disagreed at the same time. Like I'm going to talk about you like you're not here for a second. Her fluctuating like taste is so all over the radar with mine at least. I don't know. It's really funny.
Santa Baby, is that them? Do they do Santa Baby?
What the hell's that?
Oh, are you thinking of like the Hallmark holiday movies?
Yeah. Is that different?
They both do a lot of holiday movies. I'm not a holiday movie person. Okay. I want like murder.
What if it's murder people's during identities?
The holiday? Okay.
That sounds like Home Alone at this point.
Yeah, that sounds a little. It's going to have a wholesome ending. I don't want a wholesome ending.
Understood. Very dark.
All right, so we don't have to talk too much about all that TV stuff. I am looking forward to July. I think you know why. A show that comes back.
Mr. Robot?
Mr. F and Robot.
I still haven't watched season 1.
You need to.
I know. It's sitting, waiting for me to watch it. I need to. It's one of those shows that like we just finished Better Call Saul season 2.
Okay.
So there needs to be like a little bit of a buffer before we start like another serious show, and we're in that buffer now, and it's the next on the docket. It needs to happen. That
show's great. And I remember Sadie, you were here with Adam Bryan, who's no longer at TV Guide, but you were basically like trying to pitch me on all of the upfront shows, right? That were like being announced. Do you remember that? Vaguely. And like Mr. Robot was mentioned, and I'm like, oh, what's that? And we just got into, and just on paper, I was like, oh, I'm supposed to like this show. And then I saw the trailer, and I was like, okay. Yeah. Okay. And then bam, like that show works. That show's got a great pilot too, which is tough to do.
I feel like there was a lot of weird upfront stuff announced this year. Do you want like any shows that stand out for you?
Yes, it is called Downward Dog.
Oh, I haven't heard of this one.
Whoa, what network is it on?
It's on ABC, and it stars.
It can't be that much fun.
It stars Allison Tolman from the first season of Fargo.
Sure.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, but the show's about
yoga.
A talking dog.
That sounds amazing.
It's narrated by her dog.
Okay.
So it's like that
Son
FX
of Sam.
thing. No. What do you mean Son of Sam?
No. It's not like Wilfred. Like it's a dog. And they CGI his mouth to move.
This is it's like Shaggy Dog, the Tim Allen movie.
But
this is like Garfield.
It's not bad. Like it's
Is it single camera, like no audience?
Yeah, no audience.
Okay.
And it kind of gave me Louis vibes.
It's because it's very dark.
It's like
ABC's not that kind of network.
It's sad.
Sure.
And weird.
Okay.
I have no idea where the show's going after the pilot.
And it got picked up. Wow.
I liked it. Like and not just because it is hilarious that it's a talking dog comedy. Like I was into it.
They CG the guy's face. Like
who's the voice of the dog?
Face?
I have no idea.
Really, they wouldn't get it because she's not I'm obviously a very talented actress, but not a lot of name recognition outside of the media. I would say
this is like her first big role since Fargo, so it's a very interesting choice for her. But I definitely see what attracted to her.
I fell in love with her in Fargo. I was just like, oh, you are so wholesome and lovable, and
she was great.
You're just
it's also a network. Like you're not going to turn down a network.
No, of course not.
Anything, right?
Although, like
for the most part,
I'm sure when like someone pitched her on it, she was like, "Run that by me one more time." The dog, what now?
Yeah,
I say give it a chance. It probably won't really hit it off with audiences, but it's definitely interesting. And there's so many reboots coming out. So a show like Downward Dog really stands out, and at least like it has that going for it.
Look, I respect taking chances. I respect a breath of fresh air. So when you say a lot of reboots, like what is some of that stuff?
Lethal Weapon, The Exorcist, Training Day.
Oh, I heard about Training Day.
Yeah. I mean, those are all like very The Exorcist. Who wants to watch that every week?
Right? Tune in next week where we twist the head off this young girl.
The other ones are like, I think, pretty straightforward. Like, whatever. It's a cop show, and it's like a lighthearted cop show, but it's very obvious what they're trying to do. And even though they're reboots, it's like, how married to that format are they necessarily? All you need is like a crooked cop for training day and you're like set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get it.
You could call that training day.
But yeah, that's a little discouraging. It's good to hear that there's more original stuff. Obviously, networks tend to be a little more safe when it comes to that stuff. But I guess Downward Dog disproves the rule.
Yeah. Two thumbs up from me.
Two paws up.
Paws up, yes.
So it's like Turner and Hooch or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what we're watching on TV. I have a confession to make. I have recently fallen in love
Pens.
with Pens with a YouTube personality.
Okay.
I'm sure most of the people listening to this will know who he is.
Yeah.
His name is Casey Neistat.
Yeah.
And I've just fallen down the hole, and I think he's amazing.
Really?
Yeah. So it's tough to describe without kind of like just going in. I told Sadie like a half hour before we got in here, and you watched like one of his videos or some of it.
I watched almost all of one of his videos.
Okay, so here's the deal. Here's who this guy is.
Sure.
Okay. He's arguably arguably the hottest, the buzziest YouTube personality right now.
Okay.
So you have people who have like, PewDiePie, who's got like 45 million subscribers, and you got people who are in like the 5 to 10s. I think he's right around like 3.4 million subscribers.
Sure.
But that's just a number. It's all about like, but his trajectory right now is on fire. Anyway, fine. I'm just saying. Talk about like who's hot, whatever.
I'm very proud for him.
I'm not, again. So let me explain who he is, right?
Yeah.
So he grew up in Connecticut.
Okay.
And he must have like some kind of history in production. He has like a background in production. Him and his brother sold a show to HBO like 6 years ago.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure if that's totally accurate, but the show went nowhere.
Never got picked up.
I think HBO bought it, but the show didn't do anything.
Okay.
So he's been all over the place. He did a few YouTube videos about like iPhone or like the original iPod not having a replaceable battery, and he's done some like weird like New York City bike lane videos that like really took off.
Oh, he wasn't the one that did the snowboarding video, was
yes.
he? I saw that. Okay.
So
that was pretty good.
Right. That video is amazing when you just look at it from like the production value.
Sure.
So now what he does is he has a social media company that he runs. I don't know how well that does, but he's just now chronicling his life. And he does daily vlogs, and he does these like daily videos that are like 8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And the production value is just off the charts. He uses a series of like time lapse and drones. Like each video he has like these amazing sweeping drone shots.
Yeah.
And it's all New York, and it's just his life. And he's got a very busy schedule, and like his entire existence is this self-perpetuating machine, right? So like he's become super popular on YouTube. So obviously brands give a shit about that.
Right.
So like brands come to him and say, hey, come here. And like his life gets more interesting the more he's exposed to these things, which in turn makes his vlog more interesting.
Right.
So it's kind of this like fantastic storm for him.
But he's not doing he's not doing like trying to hide that brands are paying him to do stuff, or is he?
I'm still not totally sure about that, but I'm also not walking away from each episode he does where it's like, oh, that was a Samsung thing or that was a Nike thing.
Okay. Have any of the episodes been like, hey, we're going to walk over to the Samsung store and check out the new Samsung?
No. So there's one time where he's like, Samsung invited me to this party. I'm going to go check it out.
Okay.
And he goes, and he doesn't really talk about Samsung, doesn't talk about anything. He just talks about like the DJ that's there or something.
Yeah,
or
he's being paid by Samsung.
I'm sure he's getting taken care of.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously he's making money off his being such a big.
Do you think
YouTube
he has a
personality.
production like people around him?
That's the thing I want to know. Like his videos are so well done. And look, Sadie, you watched a little bit of one episode.
I watched almost all of it,
and you could tell like the production value was really good.
Were you engaged by it?
No, I thought it was.
She wasn't engaged.
I made it about like 8 minutes into a 10-minute video.
That's pretty long for web video.
I thought it was so boring.
Which one did you watch?
The one you told me to, where it's like my skateboard fell in the river.
Yeah.
It would be like a minute of him like shopping for a camera and then a time lapse
Oh my
montage
God.
set to music, and then a minute of him like skateboarding.
Yeah.
And then a time lapse montage
that
set to
sounds
the
very-
exact same music.
Yeah, that sounds very indulgent, is what that
Yeah,
sounds
it's
like.
self-indulgent. It's
Yeah.
boring. His life is not that interesting. Like, why?
Is it just because you like the production values, or do you actually find the content interesting?
I find the content interesting. I think he gets to do a lot of cool stuff. To me, like I watch what he does, and
Sure.
I'm just like, how does he have time to do this? The fact that he's filming for hours on end every day.
Yeah.
Hold that thought. Please hold that thought, because I need to tell you why you're wrong. No, I'm kidding. He has all this stuff, and then he somehow finds the hours it must take to edit it because he publishes yesterday's video today.
Yeah, there's no way he's cutting it himself.
Yeah.
Russ, that's what I would think.
Why are you
yeah.
assuming this?
I don't know. I feel like I have a fairly good production eye, and like, again, could he have all these people behind the scenes? Maybe, but like when he has the drone shots, you can see it's a video of himself flying the drone. Like,
Okay. Sure, but a drone takes 10 seconds, 10 minutes to fly.
You'd be surprised.
Editing a 10-minute video that's like heavily produced and
Okay.
edited,
It sucks that you haven't
could be
seen any
8
of it.
hours at least of work.
Right. I agree. So who's doing it? Is it him cutting it?
If he has 4 million, whatever, he probably, he makes money. If the social media company is legit, he makes money there. Of course he would spend 30 grand a year to hire some kid out of
Right.
school.
So maybe he's not cutting it, but he's shooting it.
But
He's
what,
shooting it all.
what does this
Who
matter?
cares?
I know it
Yeah.
doesn't.
Exactly.
It's about the actual video, and the actual video is boring.
Well, that was that's what you
you
thought-
recommended that video. That's the best of the best.
That's
That
not
you
the
No,
best
that
of
is the
best.
one you told me to watch.
Because that's the one I
it
just
was
watched, and I was
good.
like, "This is really good."
And I saw as I mentioned, I saw the snowboarding in New York.
So a little
after
bit of
Blizzard.
context here. End of January, there was like a 4-foot blizzard that hit
Yeah.
New York. He and this other video guy decided to go out and snowboard through the streets of Manhattan, and they covered it really well with like a lot of drone footage and
Yeah.
cool camera angles and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was cool.
They
For
did a good
a
job.
minute, it was cool.
Yeah.
But like, that doesn't make me an all-out hardcore.
All right. Aside from the fact that you guys clearly don't give a shit about what I'm bringing to the table and saying I like this guy.
Yeah, I'm more interested than I was in the Pens, so I'll give you that.
Great. That means a lot. So what I need you to do is like, again, I should have had you watch this before you came on, but it's fine because I'm clearly not doing a good job pitching it to you.
Yeah.
But I want you to watch it.
Okay.
And be like, something happened where I was watching this every day, and I'm just like, man, this guy's like really good at what he does, and I just found him really likable.
Yeah.
And to me, that was the thing where like I saw his photo, and I'm like, this guy's a douchebag.
Right.
And then I watched him, and I'm like, oh no, wait, he just has a fairly interesting life. He's got a wife. He's got a kid. He's in New York. He's doing his thing. I don't know. Yeah,
So
I guess it's boring, huh?
Like,
Yeah.
I guess it's boring.
do you remember when Twitter came out?
No.
And everyone was complaining, like, why do I care if you're
Right.
eating a sandwich?
Right.
It's that concept, but in a 10-minute YouTube video every day.
But
Like,
clearly,
I don't.
there is an audience
Yeah,
for it.
so that's the thing. So like, whether or not you think it might be interesting, no matter how you feel right now at this table, clearly a lot of people dig it.
Yeah.
And he is an incredibly popular public figure to the point where like he goes around and everyone knows who he is.
I would not
Or
go so
he
far.
cuts it in such a way that he only leaves the shots in where people recognize him.
Right, but like it's every day, so it's not like
Or he is paid to go places and the PR guy's like, hey, it's
maybe,
Casey.
Maybe.
I'm sorry, I hate
maybe
to be
it's
such a
all
skeptic.
cunning ruse. Maybe it's all a
He is
facade.
YouTube star.
Yes.
But to your point that like, oh, like it's good. Clearly people like it a lot. The most popular things are not necessarily the best
Right.
quality things. That's
I agree.
Called The Big Bang Theory. And I already said how much I love CBS properties, so I can knock at least one of them. It's called The Big Bang Theory.
I'm glad you said it and not me.
Okay. I don't necessarily enjoy that show either. I know a lot of people do.
Sure.
Again, maybe that's like a generational thing. And maybe that's the thing with this too, right? Because like, and that's where I want to get with this, where this is like the new face of entertainment. Like-
YouTube?
It's a new face, but sure.
I just think it's way more important. Like it's way more impressive to me that he'll put a video up and over 1 million people will watch it in 24 hours. Like a TV show wishes it could do that. So what does that mean?
TV shows get more views than that, right?
I feel like
these days.
I don't know, like cable stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
it's a lot. So I'm not gonna deny that 1 million views in a day is a lot. It's a lot. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
It's just weird because I see some of these YouTube people like flame out. Like I get very fascinated when you see like, hey, this person has 6 million subscribers and they were huge 6 years ago, and now all their videos get like 2,000 views because the way YouTube sort of prioritizes like new subscribers.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't want to rip into the guy too much because, again, I'm not as familiar.
And you haven't seen anything.
I saw the snowboarding video, which was okay.
Yeah.
I think if you can summarize the video in a GIF in 10 seconds, you probably don't need 10 minutes of masturbatory production value.
I don't know if we're going to use that word. I just find it incredibly hypnotic and soothing.
Okay.
There's something about his show that is like very relaxing to me.
Okay.
I think that's why I found it boring, because it was kind of repetitive, but I understand like how that could be soothing in your eyes.
Very reliable.
Yes, consistent.
Yeah.
Just do me a favor, Sadie. And you don't even have to report back. You can report back to me. Like
I will not watch another video.
Really?
You
10
gave her
minutes?
the best of the best. That is very generous of Sadie to give you that.
10 minutes is so long on the internet.
Yes.
See, so
And like I do not care to watch most things that are 10 minutes long. I don't even want to listen to a song that's over 4 minutes. Why would I want to watch a 10-minute video?
Understood. That's what I found the most compelling about his stuff, where it was like, I did not realize 8 minutes had gone by.
Okay.
And I was like, this is good. He's kept my attention.
Sure.
I don't know.
Okay.
So wait, so you won't listen to a 4-minute song, you won't watch a 10-minute video. How do you read a 20-minute article? Do you do that?
In pieces.
Yeah, in pieces.
In pieces. That is what this show is falling into.
Mm-hmm.
Pieces. Thanks a lot, Sadie.
Well, I can sit down and like read a book for hours on end, but
Yeah.
Video is different.
it's hard to make a 10-minute video that's not like an episode of something.
Right.
Like with no
understand.
narrative arc.
So like here's the thing, there is a narrative arc.
Not in the video I watched.
And not in any of the descriptions that you've given me.
But it's like it's always constantly going on. Like his life is just constantly happening, and like what I asked you to do was just like peek in real quick to like a out of context sort of video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you have to watch many episodes
you
to
have
get
to
some
watch
sort of narrative arc.
7,000 videos.
In Jeff's defense, you do have to watch like 6 episodes of Justified before it starts getting good. So,
As someone who just started watching Justified, I disagree.
really, you think it's great right from the beginning?
I think it's solid, and I
think
also
it's solid, but not great.
Is
One
Justified the one with the pilot on the rooftop?
No, I don't know what.
I have
you're
no
talking
He's
about.
like on a Justified with Timothy Olyphant.
Oh, I think
Is that
you
like
might
very
be
early?
Yeah, it's
right.
like a gun under the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. That pilot's not bad.
Yeah, the pilot's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. And then it sort of falls into procedural stuff for a little bit, and then it gets amazing.
Well, once Walton Goggins gets free.
Hey, she just started watching.
Oh, no. I'm on like season 3, and I
Oh,
think Walton Goggins is my true
He's
soulmate.
fantastic.
He's amazing.
I'm so excited
And he's
for Vice Principals.
Are you?
I
Because it
am.
feels very Eastbound and Down.
I'm fine with
I'm
that.
okay with
I like
that.
Eastbound and Down.
Eastbound and Down had one good season.
No, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes, it is.
1.5.
I'll give you one.
I
and
like
a
the
half.
last season.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Whatever the hell that was? You enjoyed that?
The
I
end,
only watched the scene with Lindsay Lohan.
the
in
end
last season.
was very funny.
The end with the future?
Yeah.
Stupid. Yeah, it's, I don't know.
Not for everyone.
Not for everybody. But yeah, I'm excited for that show, for sure. He's amazing. He's also a great cross-dresser in
Oh, yeah.
Sons of
Sons of
Anarchy.
Anarchy. Yeah.
Did you saw those, right?
I saw the photos. I quit watching
Oh.
Sons of Anarchy.
Me too.
in season
I
3.
stopped too.
It wasn't the best show. It was good, but it wasn't the best.
It fell off.
Let's talk about Twitter.
Okay.
I had no idea until yesterday, but there's been all kinds of crazy Twitter hacks. Like not just like a few here and there, but like super mega brands and people. Mark Zuckerberg, the NFL, Katy Perry. What's going on? Well, here's what's going on. A lot of it has to do with people using the same password for multiple accounts, right? So like that's how they got Zuckerberg.
Sure.
Zuckerberg was exploited, and they used the same password he used for another service.
What was his password?
I think it was like something and that's the worst part is when you find out with like
Like, how are they not using
I
some
know.
sort of hexadecimal,
Right, like
12
alphanumeric
generic, like craziness?
I think Zuckerberg's was like DADADA or something like that.
Like,
You look embarrassed for him right
Yeah, because
now.
it's like humiliating.
right.
Like when your password gets out and your password's like something real stupid and like easily guessable or something like
Would
that.
you stop watching Casey if it came out that his password was like ABC123?
I think so. I think I might be like, oh, F this guy. What a dumbass. But I think, you could talk about like why all of these, passwords are getting out there. But I think like the bigger issue is like what is happening right now. There's also Lana Del Rey, Kylie Jenner, who is a person people give a shit about.
They probably happened was that they accessed something that a lot of people use. It wouldn't be Facebook, but like something as ubiquitous as Facebook, YouTube, or whatever, and then they just searched for celebrities or celebrity names that matched. Because like for them all to happen at the same time seems very weird. Otherwise,
They've been in waves.
Oh,
Were you gonna
There
say
was
something?
recently a big LinkedIn hack.
oh right,
Which
Yeah.
I don't think celebrities are on LinkedIn.
they don't need that.
But that is another big server that was recently hacked.
This is interesting. The NFL handle at NFL got hacked, and they actually they tweeted out that Roger Goodell, the commissioner, was dead. Like, imagine seeing that tweet from at NFL.
Oof.
That's dark.
Like, that's effed, right?
That's basically the exact opposite of what they did from Katy Perry's account, which was tweeted something along the lines of like, "I love you, Taylor Swift."
Are they
they
do have
feuding?
beef?
Oh, they have crazy beef.
Really?
John Mayer.
What?
Did they both date John Mayer?
They both dated John Mayer, and there are like rumors that Bad Blood is about Katy Perry and that she tried to sabotage Taylor's tour.
Really?
Yeah. See, that tweet is why I know about the hack. Because I
That's
saw that and I was like, this
crazy.
is not right.
I like that
Someone
too,
has
Bad
gotten
Blood.
to Katie's Twitter
I
account.
thought Bad Blood was all about like female empowerment
No, that's squad goals.
because the music video is all like the women like
No,
being
it's a-
badasses.
But it's a group of women preparing to fight another group of women.
Can you like give me a crash course in like what Taylor Swift is?
She's great. I really like Taylor Swift.
Because
Yeah, I kind of love her too.
it's fine. That's great. You're perfect for this
Sure.
job. I don't like. I know who she is. I could pick her out of a lineup.
Sure.
I know she has the song "Shake It Off." Shake it off.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Players gonna hate.
Haters gonna-
Haters
yeah.
gonna hate.
Sure.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, is she country too?
No, it's
She
just-
used to be
Right.
country, and now she's moved
She was
into
Christian.
like full pop.
Was she Christian, right? Or am I thinking of someone else? I thought she had like a series of Christian.
I
that's
believe you're
Katy-
thinking Katy Perry.
Katy Perry's
Katy Perry.
really into the Jesus guy.
Okay.
Loves him.
That guy.
Loves his work.
Sure.
She is moving into a convent.
Is she?
What?
She got in a legal battle with a bunch of nuns to buy a convent, and the nuns were like, "You are not allowed to live here."
Right.
But
you
she
don't.
won.
You don't exactly
Nice.
look like you're devoted to the man upstairs.
Me?
No, I'm not
Wait,
saying.
were the
Katy.
nuns gonna still live there when she moved in?
I don't think so. I think like they were selling it, but they didn't want to sell it to
Oh,
her.
I see. And it's yeah.
Oh man. Well, look.
I feel like you could just say
Price is right. The price is right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. She's really religious, as far as I understand it. Right, Katy Perry.
I know she comes from a really religious family. I can't speak to her personal.
I want to say she has like religious tattoos, but that could be wrong.
Maybe. I mean, they're both just pop stars essentially. Like
Right,
now,
but why? But are they good? Like
Taylor Swift is
like Lady
amazing.
Gaga is good.
I think Katy Perry has good tunes as well. Like
Does she write her stuff?
Katy Perry has hits. Taylor Swift writes albums.
right. I wouldn't say Katy Perry has like a gangbusters.
That's like when
album.
Oliver Stone told Quentin Tarantino, he's like, "I make films, you make movies."
Oh,
yeah,
brutal.
brutal. So okay, so she's popular. She what was her thing with like she was like the ambassador for New York? I didn't like that.
What?
She wrote a song called "Welcome to New York," and
But
then
she's
yeah.
from where?
I
She's
don't
like-
know.
She's not from New York. She has a country album. She's not-
She lives here now.
Kentucky, somewhere. maybe
Okay, regardless,
Shropshire
I also know that
Land.
she has a cat named
Meredith Grey and Olivia Benson.
Olivia Benson. Right. Olivia Benson's a character on Law and Order SVU, and Meredith Grey is from Grey's Anatomy.
All right, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that explains it.
Does it?
That explains
Cracked
it all.
for
Like who she is and why is she.
I think you just don't like pop music, which is fine.
No. I like Lady Gaga. She's
Okay.
not. She's kind of out of vogue now, right? Or she's more like
She hasn't put out
made
an
music in a
album
while.
since Art Pop, which wasn't her
the
strongest
best.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
She's
Lady
winning
Gaga's
Golden Globes.
riskier, like musically riskier, but not, but yeah, she just hasn't been in the public eye for a while.
If you're into jazz, she has her Tony Bennett album.
I know that. That's interesting. She's what is she becoming? She's becoming like you could tell like she has sort of ambitions that reside well beyond just music.
Lady Gaga?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She wants to act.
She wants to
She
be-
was in
she wants that
American
EGOT.
Horror Story, right?
She won a Golden
Globe for
Globe.
that, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's a Golden Globe.
It was
Undeserved?
not earned.
I mean, Golden Globes they kind of give out in like
yeah,
weird.
no one cares.
oh, Golden Globes are bought,
Yeah.
basically.
Well, so are Oscars,
yeah.
as Jordan Hoffman taught us.
Yeah, true.
All right. So I don't know how we got
That
there.
was wide-ranging.
That was a little wide-ranging, but there are significant Twitter hacks. And I guess so you're like, okay, I heard about all these Twitter hacks. How does it affect me?
Mm-hmm.
Don't use the same password.
Or if you're
for
going to do
multiple
that,
services.
use authentication, two-factor authentication.
Right.
Which really is pretty easy, all things considered, and will protect you.
But that's only,
Better.
but two-step verification is really just a cell phone thing.
What do you mean?
So I guess if someone has your cell phone and has your password,
Sure, fine, that's valid.
those two steps are compromised.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Go for it.
I do not have a password on my phone. Is that a huge mistake?
I don't think so.
I mean, it sort of depends. So the question I would say is do you have a banking app on your phone?
Yes.
And when you touch the banking app, does it open immediately to all of your accounts?
No.
You have to
Exactly.
enter
You
your
have to
password.
enter your
Yeah.
password.
And
That's
do you
what I'm
have
saying.
two-factor authentication on that banking?
Not quite sure what that means.
Two-step verification is okay, you know the password,
Right.
But do you have the phone of the person?
It's generally it's designed for you've never logged in on this computer before.
Oh.
That's
stuff like
sketchy. Yeah,
Yeah, but since I have logged in on my phone,
Right.
that wouldn't change
I don't
it.
know.
that.
It for Google. Does that happen to you all the time?
What?
Two-step
I use it on. I mean, we have to for work, but
Right, but I'm
even
saying-
for my personal, I use it.
all the time.
Once I've logged in on a certain computer, at least 30 days it lasts.
Yeah.
And then you just enter. I have the app and it entered the code, and then it's another 30 days.
It's a long-winded way of saying it's a backup. It's a safety net.
Yeah,
Where it's
it's not
okay,
perfect.
just because you have this person's password, well,
Right.
maybe you're still not who you say you are. Let's take it one step further and send you a text message, and maybe you enter that PIN number.
I would say if you became an overnight celebrity for some reason or other, you might want to increase that security a little bit.
Okay, so maybe in 1 or 2 months I'll need to do that.
Why don't you
weeks,
just put a password
or
on your
weeks.
phone as well?
Because I'm lazy. And
See,
I
but
But
like,
you can
that's
do
that big of a deal.
even an easy password is enough to discourage people from trying to guess it.
Yeah, I do the thumb thing, the fingerprint thing.
Yeah, that's
and
a pain in the butt.
No, that's what do you mean?
It's a little annoying.
It's great.
And you can also set it to be I'll only ask for the password once every 6 hours.
Yeah.
okay.
So there are options to I don't know. I think it's worth doing.
Yeah, I take it back. I said it wasn't a big deal. You should do it.
Yeah.
I take it back.
All right.
I'm
I'll
just
do
thinking.
it.
I'm looking out for your safety, Sadie.
Thanks, Jeff. That means a lot.
Well, look, we're friends. We got to watch each other's backs here. Okay. Now we're going to talk about one other thing, and then we'll get into, again, Game of Thrones, which you will know for sure when to stop.
Yes.
So last couple weeks, as I was explaining to you, Sadie, Russ and I and our guest have been balancing / juggling the many social etiquettes that we all face on a daily basis. We went from when is the right time to give someone a hug or a kiss on the cheek, which I kind of want to get that answer from everybody that we have on. So
Yeah.
when is it okay to give someone a hug? When is it okay to give someone a little peck on the cheek? Or when is it just hey, let's shake hands because this is professional?
Well, I think if you're in a professional situation,
Of course.
no
Yeah, I
kisses
think-
on the cheek.
Right.
Yeah, okay,
Although-
let's say you're a member of the media and you see a friend of yours that's also a member of the media at a press event, but you're close. You were college roommates.
I think friend, there's a hierarchy of titles, which matters more. And I think friend is above professional,
Sure.
coworker,
Yes.
or peer.
Yes.
So that then the friend rules would apply rather
Totally.
than the,
Yes.
Right.
Pure.
So that they trump the professional rules.
yeah.
Is there ever a situation where someone's giving you the kiss on the cheek and you're like, whoa,
all the time.
Oh, what's that? Why? All the time?
It's like my boyfriend's family, whenever I see them, they like hug me and give me like kisses on the cheek.
That's
Double
okay?
kisses?
Not like the European thing.
I think just one.
Okay.
But like I grew up where like we never did that
Yeah,
at all.
us
So like
too, yeah.
once I met his family, this started happening every time I said hi to someone. And it's not weird, but it definitely like threw me off. And
Can I
did
ask
not
where his
see it
family is
coming.
from?
Long Island.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's normal to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah,
It's just
you
like
just weren't ready
I was
for it.
not expecting it,
Right.
and so like I froze, and all of a sudden like his dad was like hugging me and kissing me on the cheek, and I was just
The
like,
first
like
time
a
you
bull.
met?
I don't think the first time we
Okay.
met, but like
Okay.
the second time,
Sure. Because
you know?
now Sadie's part of the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Like once I became like a member of the family,
Sure.
it threw me off.
But now you're cool with it.
Yeah, like I don't think there's anything wrong with kissing someone on the cheek. It's just
Right.
I was not prepared
ready
for it,
for
and
it,
I did
sure.
not
Caught you off
react
guard.
appropriately.
Yeah.
And there are obviously instances where it is inappropriate to kiss someone on the cheek, as you
Right.
mentioned.
Right.
Professionally.
Like your mailman. You
Yeah.
don't do that. That's
Right.
weird.
Unless you were college roommates with your mailman.
Right. And you're like, oh my God, it's you. Okay. You brought up a subject that I think is well worth bringing up. Can you like introduce it for us real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I just want to get this out there. I think chivalry is great when I'm like on a date with a guy and he opens the door for me or like pulls out my chair. I think that's lovely. It like really makes me happy.
Right.
However, when men I don't know do certain chivalrous things to me, I get really angry.
It's interesting.
So examples. What are some of the...
Every day
Yeah.
I come in and out of this office on the elevator, and if I'm in an elevator with like 3 dudes, even if they're standing in front of me, they will wait to get off the elevator until I step off.
Yeah.
And why? Like,
Has
they
Jeff
don't
done this
know me.
before to you?
It's not me. What?
No, but the thing is, if Jeff didn't, it wouldn't bother me because I know Jeff. It's more
Yeah.
when like strange
Strangers.
men
I get a free pass.
do things like that. Like they don't owe me anything. I don't need that sort of special privilege. It's just an elevator. Just take
Okay,
the
so
step.
Right. So what we're getting at,
Yeah.
do you want to, you have a thought you want to finish?
No, yeah.
What
go
we're
for it.
getting at is like,
This like
we talk about these unwritten laws, like unwritten social etiquettes that like have kind of been around for hundreds of years, where like what you're describing is like strangers, when it's a male female sort of thing, have these
acting a certain way.
things that they do, whether it be holding a door open or waiting till they get off the elevator,
Sure.
shit like that.
Okay, so I'm going to paint a scenario.
Okay.
It's 6:30 at night. You're on the L train. It's a zoo on the L train. There's no seats at all, and there's a guy sitting in front of you, and he offers his seat to you. How would you internally react to that situation?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Obviously, I would take the seat because it's kill or be killed on the subway.
Totally, I totally agree. I would take the seat too if it was offered to me. But do you like? Would you sit down and be like, "That was fucked up"?
That doesn't make me like upset like the elevator thing, because to me it's like, oh, like he's doing because he thinks maybe she's tired or something. But with the elevator,
that
is
no. But here's the thing with, I guess what makes me so angry about the elevators, there's no benefit. Like there's no need for me to get off first. I don't understand.
But it's the same.
the logic.
It is the same instinct.
Yes, it is born from the same source, where it's like,
I didn't say it would not
she's a
bother me at
woman.
all.
well, no, like, and you put it very succinctly to start as well, with like the humanitarianization
Sure.
of the world.
Yeah.
Right?
It's the idea of everyone being equal.
Of course. Where it's like, is that okay? Like, is that legacy of men going out of their way, not going out of their way, doing social nuances,
Right.
favoring the female variety? Like, what is, like, yeah, is that
Should that go away?
Should that
or
go
is it-
away?
Or is it okay?
I don't think it's black or white. I think it's in the middle.
right? I think it's in the middle. And,
And let
okay,
me
go ahead.
also explain my subway answer a little more.
Okay.
When I am on a subway and I'm standing, I spend the entire time like 10-20ing looking for a seat.
Totally.
So I'm putting out a signal that's like communicating, I want a seat.
Right.
And so for a man to see that and respond, I don't really find that offensive. If I was just standing there, like, clearly, like, reading a book or something, like,
Right,
fine.
engaged in something else.
Yeah, then it would ruffle my feathers a bit.
Right.
But, like, if he sees me looking for a seat, then I don't feel like, oh, maybe he's doing this because I'm a woman. It's like, oh, he sees me, like, wanting something.
Right.
Like, I don't necessarily know that
I'm sending that message out.
Yeah. It's when they think they know what's best for you.
Right.
That's what I have a problem with. When they like assume that you want something or need something.
Like you don't know any better.
Yeah, it's like you want to get off the elevator.
Right.
First. You need this.
Right. Yeah. Let us do that for you.
So the obvious tricky situation here is, and I don't necessarily fall one way or the other in terms of like, but the tricky situation is there are obviously a number of women that feel the same way you do, which is like, this is whatever. It makes me feel weird, and like they shouldn't be doing this. Why am I being treated differently? And there's a number of women that I would say have an expectation of certain steps being taken in their favor because that's how they were raised. Like, oh, men should behave like this to you because you're a woman. The question, I guess, the issue that I run into as a guy is that I don't know who I'm interacting with. I don't know what makes them comfortable in that situation. So, I mean, I guess the obvious solution would just be like treat them like anyone without factoring in their gender to make a decision.
Yeah.
But A, it's going against like what my grandmother told me, and B, it is tricky because it's like, is there an expectation there? I try to be generous and relatively thoughtful about like other people's feelings and stuff like that, but I don't know. It's just like a very thorny thing, you know?
Yeah.
I would say if that's what you feel comfortable doing, like you naturally want to like hold the door or whatever for women, that's fine. Because when I get upset, it's not like at the man necessarily.
not.
It's like,
okay,
I get upset because it's a moment that I am forced to realize that the world looks at me differently.
Right. Sure.
Like, I don't
right.
think men are like trying to upset me or have ill intentions.
No.
So
And
just do what you're
Right.
comfortable with. No one's gonna.
But there's obviously a limit to that because, like, construction worker on the street whistling at women is obviously not appropriate, and like,
Well, that's also not chivalry.
No.
That's catcalling.
Yeah. That's
true.
the antithesis.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a whole other
Yes.
situation.
Yeah.
true.
Russ knows all about that.
Yeah, I mean,
He gets catcalled.
all the time.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just happens.
all the time. I'm a big hit
He's
on the
sexy.
street.
Look, they just want you to smile.
Yeah, that's it. Just want you to-
I mean, I would say this falls into the argument of like paying for the check, on a first date or something like that. Yeah, I mean, it's tricky, and obviously we're in this period of transition for a lot of these like social norms. So that's always a really sticky thing. Where, 50 years ago was a lot of other sticky things, like women shouldn't show their whatever ankle.
that was a problem 50 years
It's
ago.
just like communicate. Like if you don't know, talk to the woman you're like confused how to act around. Like if
I
it's
guess,
your
right?
first, like be upfront, have discussions about these things.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah, but then you hear those stories of like, oh, like this guy wanted to split the check with me. And that's cheap on the first day,
No, but like that's their problem.
Right. I
There's
completely-
nothing wrong with splitting the check if
Right.
they're judging you
Totally.
for wanting to
Right,
go
right,
judge.
They're awful people.
Yeah, that's not you do something wrong. That's
Right.
your expectations don't
Yeah.
match. And like, do you really like want to be with someone who expects men to always pay on the first date or
Right.
judges them for
Right.
it?
Yeah, it's but I feel like not even 10 years ago, like there was maybe more of that weighted. There was a point where like that was expected, right? Like it wasn't even like, is this person nice or are they not? It was just like, it's something you do. You say, bless you when you sneeze, and the guy picks up the check, right? Like that was a thing,
Yeah.
right?
But things are changing.
I'm
and
with you.
just
I'm
talk,
totally with
just
you.
Communicate
Yeah,
with
there
women.
isn't enough of that.
Right.
And I also think there's not enough of like just everyone being cool with everyone else. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm not about to be like, why can't we all just get along?
Right. Well,
But it's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're cool with Donald Trump?
Yeah, he's a great guy. Mm-hmm. What, you guys, you guys, am I the only, I'm the only.
He's very charming.
You know what's screwed up about that, man? So we were doing this Facebook Live thing
Yeah.
on Friday. And someone in the comments was like, "Why does Jeff like Donald Trump?"
What?
And I'm like, "What? No, I don't like that douchebag. Like, like nobody." And it was like, I felt like McCarthyism, where it was like all of a sudden, like I was being fingered as like being a communist.
Yeah.
I was like, no. Look at my house. Look, I'm a family man. No.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? It's like terrifying.
You don't know why they thought that?
I don't know.
Did you go back and like watch the video? And
No, the video
It was unrelated.
completely out of context.
So maybe it was, I don't know. Maybe
There's
it was
no way
someone
someone
trying to
looks at
change
me
the
and is like,
narrative.
"There's the Trump guy." Like, there's no way.
don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, no. First of all, I judge every book by its cover. I think a lot of people
I do too,
Yeah.
because if you can't afford to hire a good artist, then like,
how's what's on the inside?
yeah,
gonna
like
be
the
good?
publishing house is not investing a lot.
Come on.
in you.
Did you guys see, there was a tweet from, whatever, conservative, they only had like 5,000. It wasn't like an actual media company, but they had a picture of an actress from the Bruce Campbell Evil Dead show on Stars, I guess.
Oh yeah.
And the caption read, "This Trump supporter was attacked by quote liberals," and she was like decked out in like zombie makeup and like, but it looked like she was assaulted.
Oh my god!
Like this is what's going. Like there's like this crazy misinformation campaign going on, and you might have been part of that. Trying to spread the word that you were a Trump supporter.
I was a victim.
Yeah,
I was victimized. All right, we've hit the portion of our program where we're going to spend 10, 15 minutes or so, and we're going to talk unfiltered, uncensored about Game of Thrones.
Yes.
If you don't want to hear that, you kind of just turn the podcast off now. Just do it, because the rest of the show we're going to be that.
I saw the part where Bran fell out of the tower. Are we covering anything else?
Yeah, a little beyond that. Just a little beyond that.
Sure.
Okay, again, this is your last chance. Turn the podcast off. Thanks for being here, Sadie. Thanks for being here. Say goodbye. We're not going to do anything else. Ending one is here. Okay, let's get into Game of Thrones. So, I guess the first thing I want to talk about with this recent season, it's twofold, right? So you and I went on CBSN earlier this season, and we talked about. I think it was like maybe the second episode, which is actually
it was the fourth.
It was the fourth. Fair enough. It was shitty. It was like a shitty episode.
I liked it. I thought it was superficially fun.
Yeah.
I thought it was not boring.
Did something big happen in that episode?
Yeah, which one was that?
It was the episode that ended with Daenerys burning down all the Dothraki cows.
The end was cool. I like the end.
Yeah,
it was fun. And like compared to the episode we just saw, like at least it was interesting.
So the episode that just happened, that just passed on Sunday, the Hound is back.
Yeah.
Shocker.
What do you mean shocker?
I know.
I wasn't expecting
really? You're
it to come.
an idiot, Jeff.
Why am I
You are an idiot. Any person on this show, or pretty much any other show, that does not get their head cut off visibly on the show is still alive.
Unless you
so Stannis is coming back.
I will admit that, like, when she was like, well, he's dead, I was like, he's probably still alive somewhere.
Come on.
He could come back.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Is like, if it happened, I'd be like, not shocked.
Not a shock.
He's alive in the books, too. But I am pretty sure Stannis is dead in the show.
And,
But
I agree.
Man, why you got me making me feel like such a dumbass?
I mean,
come on, no, they left him out for a
Chekhov's
season
gun.
and a half.
I know.
That's not like, what was he doing? What was that actor doing?
You can't.
Rickon was gone since season 3. Did
Who?
you just exactly?
Rickon, Bran's brother.
Bran's younger brother. Did you assume he died too, just because he wasn't on screen?
I didn't care.
No, I mean,
can't spend enough time.
They wanted people to think that he was dead. What I would say is, when you're looking at these characters, you ask yourself, has this character had if they're a major character, not like Osha, the wildling person, has this character had a reasonably full arc? Like, have they gotten?
I thought he had a decent arc.
No, they set
him
up
dying by that would have been okay.
They set up way too many storylines with him that never were
the
finished.
Rivalry with Gregor, his brother, the fact that his brother burned his face off and he hates his brother.
Is the brother the mountain?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the Frankenstein mountain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, now, yes.
Yeah.
You don't set up a storyline like that and then cut it off before you can actually pay it off.
It's just a waste.
I get it.
It's a waste of everyone's time.
I get it.
So you're an idiot. That's fine. I did love seeing Ian McShane because he's fantastic.
But his name is Ray. let's all take a moment.
Wait, what?
His
In the
character's
show?
name was Ray?
His name was Brother Ray, which is the worst name.
Some of the names aren't great in that show.
That is surprising. It doesn't really
It
fit
doesn't
in.
fit.
I mean, Ned. Ned doesn't really
But at least,
fit.
Jamie?
it was
Jamie's
short
normal?
for Eddard.
Yeah.
What about Jamie?
Maybe Ray is short for something. He died too quickly
Yeah,
for
what
us to
about,
know.
and what about Jamie?
James.
Jamie works.
Jamie's normal.
But like, there's just something about Ray. Like, you just picture like
Maybe it's like
Some chill dude.
R-A-E-Y.
I did not
No, it's
even
R-A-Y.
remember what his. How do
they
you even
never
know that?
because
From-
I got so obsessed with trying to figure out this guy's name that I watched the like inside this episode.
Oh, God.
Did you know he was going to die before the episode started?
I felt like
I knew he was only going to be in one episode.
That's what I knew too. But
I didn't
maybe,
know
yeah, I know they only shot for one day with him.
Guess what?
What?
Hound's got to get his hearing checked.
Why?
Okay, yeah, let's
60 people slaughtered within...
like 30 seconds. He hears
yeah.
one scream and they're all dead.
Well, maybe they have shadow babies attacking them. What? Right?
Well,
Sure.
It is the Brotherhood, and they have the Lord of Light by their side. So
Was that,
shadow
wait, were
babies.
that's who those people
Yeah.
were?
yeah.
Didn't know that.
They literally said,
The
"Oh,
night
that's
is
the
dark
Brotherhood."
and
no,
full of
not only
terrors.
that, they said that's the Brotherhood.
I didn't know the Brotherhood meant the Brotherhood of Light.
Yeah, it's
That's not what they're called.
No.
It's the Brotherhood without banners, but
right. The Brotherhood. You understand? That's the guy that came back to life after
In
he
the
was cut in
cave.
half in the
Yeah,
cave, right?
yeah.
So that's that organization.
Interesting.
But they're like brigands. They're not like major characters.
No.
It's like
They're barely in it.
they
Right.
may play a larger
those
part.
three people.
No, the Brotherhood in general.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Right.
I feel
think
like they
will.
have to because Arya saw some of that stuff too, and like she's been exposed to that. And now her story.
And this guy keeps coming back to life. Like at a certain point, when's that going to catch up to him?
Yeah. Let's talk about Arya.
Okay. Oh.
I got lots of theories,
Okay.
none of which I think
Theories?
are true.
Oh. In terms of where you think things are going with her,
Oh, of what happened.
or
in
do you
that
think
scene.
Jeff? Do you think she's dead and she just walks into the distance and that's the last time we see Arya?
I love it. Like she's walking through that market and she's bleeding
Yeah.
out, and everyone's just like,
It's Bravos. That's no one cares.
everyone's just like, oh, this chick's totally bleeding out. What do we do? No,
No, whatever. I got fish to sell.
Yeah, they're like, I have oysters to shuck.
I have some theories too. So where do you think things are going?
I really like, for the record, before you get going, I love the guy who ran the
Jaqen
many-faced guy.
Hakar.
He is a
Then
great
you
character.
will love this theory I'm about to
Yay!
lay down.
Okay, let's hear
Yay.
it.
I'm not even going to touch upon the Fight Club theory. Are
I
you?
don't know. I'm not familiar.
Okay, so some people think that the waif and Arya are the same person. And
The waif?
do you know anyone's name on this show?
I did not actually know that her name was the
Talking
waif
about the
because they
girl?
never specifically say that in the show. That her name is the.
I feel like
That's
they've
just a
stopped
nickname.
saying a lot of characters' names.
Yeah.
Like
Hence my inability to remember anyone.
Yeah, and I read the books and I don't remember her name was the waif.
Oh my
so-
God.
yeah. Okay, so
The waif is the one who tried
The
to
blonde
girl
assassinate.
who
the blonde
hates
girl
Arya.
that hates
Yeah.
Arya.
some people think that like the waif and Arya are the same person.
How?
I don't even know what that means.
Tyler
Like
Durden.
Tyler Durden.
Oh.
And so
That doesn't make any sense.
it makes no sense. Let's move on.
If that's what it is, they really took some liberties with
Why would
that.
she stab herself?
Yeah.
Because she's trying. It's like the last ditch attempt to like
No, I
kill
don't buy it.
Arya Stark and become
No,
no
no,
one.
Don't let her suffer.
I don't buy it.
Okay,
So,
so
like, yeah, no, that's ridiculous. Okay.
the theory. I don't have a theory that I definitely think is true, but this is the one that makes the most sense to
Yeah.
me. Is that so? The faceless men so far, we've seen them physically have to cut faces off dead bodies.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm glad we got to see that
Yeah.
last 2 weeks ago. That was great. That was great. Or last week.
It was cool.
It was cool.
If they somehow retcon this earlier, like, oh, Jaqen Hagar has glamour magic because he does mention the Red God in season 2, so maybe he has like powers like Melisandre.
Sure.
He could potentially assume Arya's identity, and so the person we get stabbed in that scene is actually. Let me explain it.
Okay.
No.
Once again,
They don't do that in the
Sorry.
show. They don't do reveals and then flashbacks.
why we wouldn't have to flash back?
No,
Yeah,
there
because
wouldn't.
you'd have to establish it was him. The
No.
whole
Yeah, but you
time.
would learn that in the
You
next
would do that
episode
in the
when he's
next
like
scene.
bleeding and he takes his mask off or whatever.
But he's a foot taller than her.
Can I just lay out
Go
the
on.
evidence here?
Evidence?
Lay it down.
There's evidence.
All right.
So at one point in this scene, you notice Arya's not wearing the costume she was wearing in the previous episode.
Where she was like a behind the stage actress.
Yeah, she's
person.
wearing a completely different outfit. She's walking very different than she normally walks.
Oh,
and
God.
at one point, she passes by someone who is dressed and has the exact same hairstyle as Arya in the previous episodes.
Oh.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Too much of a coincidence not to be true.
Why would he do that?
Well, so the waif wants to kill Arya because Arya is not no one. She can't let go of these personal vendettas.
Right.
But
And
neither
she loves exploiting that.
But neither can the waif. She has a personal vendetta against Arya, so
totally.
she's just as bad.
Oh, because she is not no one either.
Exactly. So,
And she didn't kill her quickly.
yeah, so she failed. Jaqen would then assume Arya's identity to test the waif to see if she can be no one, and she failed.
That would be okay.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'm signed up.
And here's my favorite part of this theory is that if you watch the Braavosi play scenes and the whole thing with Lady Crane and the other actress, it kind of would foreshadow that. Because there are two people who work together in this profession where they have to pretend to be other people, and one of them
has a rival. There's a rivalry, and one
Yeah.
of them hates the other one.
and at the last minute Arya steps in and is like, "Watch out for that one. She wants you dead." And then the camera pans between the waif and the younger actress and back.
Ooh.
And so then maybe Jaqen would take on the Arya role in the Arya waif
right.
feud.
I think that,
I don't know.
sounds
That
great.
I'd be very impressed if they pulled that off. That is a very because you not
That's
only have to pull that
layered.
off, but you
Yeah.
also have to
explain
it in not a stupid way.
I
So
don't-
that's very tough. And also, so the reason I think, even though I'd be very impressed if they did that, the reason I don't think it's going that way is because I feel like they're just setting up Arya being saved by Theon.
Really?
They're
because-
in Volantis.
I thought they were in Bravos.
No, they're
they're-
in Volantis heading to Marine.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. I
Even-
thought she was in Bravos.
Oh, but I'm the dumb- no, I'm
Bravos
kidding.
and Volantis clearly look like the same city. They probably shoot it in the same
Also,
city.
in the trailers for Sunday's episode, Arya.
Oh,
I don't watch that. I don't
that
watch
is a
that.
spoiler?
Totally
No,
a
a
spoiler.
trailer?
Yes.
Don't
yes.
watch
They
it.
show it.
Don't watch it. Totally agree.
Sadie,
That's
You
where we
guys
draw the line.
Are insane.
you're playing with the
draw the
devil's
line.
magic there. Okay? That
The night is dark.
That's not a spoiler. That's
Yes,
what
it is.
HBO
It
puts
is.
It's
out.
showing you shit that's going to
It'd
happen.
be one thing if it was the Mad Men trailers that literally showed nothing. It
No,
was
they-
like, no.
Shows nothing.
But
except for
it
the fact that
clearly does.
Arya is not dead.
I knew she wasn't dead.
Jeff thought she was dead.
I don't think she's dead.
Arya is fine in the trailer.
That's more
Well,
than I
that
wanna know.
was more than I wanted to know.
Sadie, you couldn't
She's
do
fine.
it. You couldn't do
she's
it.
not. I don't see her from the front. I see her
Sadie.
running. You don't run with a gut
Sadie,
wound.
Sadie. Yeah,
Sadie.
maybe you do. But listen,
This isn't a spoiler, but should be.
Trailers are not
shot.
spoilers.
they are.
Trailers and
They
log
are
lines
when
are not
people spend 15
spoilers.
seconds saying,
No.
"Don't tell us this," and then you tell us.
They are voluntary spoilers.
Yes,
They are not
They
voluntary
100%.
spoilers.
Totally.
No.
you're watching the credits. Do you stick around after the credits to watch the thing?
Never.
Never. And I also don't watch the dumb infomercial stuff they run after the credits either.
What do you mean?
It's like, hey, we've decided to make Marine look like a Grecian paradise
Oh, I
and
don't
blah,
know.
blah, 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 blah. Like
So-
those stupid.
Yeah, the super tease at the beginning where it's like, this is what you need to know going into this episode, that's obviously fine. That's not a
I
problem.
don't know what you're talking about.
We're like
Oh,
previously.
Are you
previously
talking-
on.
Of course,
Yeah,
previous.
I'm just
Even
saying.
though I would
because some
say-
people say
And
like,
it
no.
can be spoilery.
It
Right.
can be a spoiler because
Right.
it's like, oh, I guess that character's coming back.
Well, obviously that's what it is, and
Right.
you almost need that because if you don't watch that,
Sometimes.
you're like so out of the
I
loop.
think a lot of that is spoon feeding, but I understand why. it's
But
there.
when you think about it, like those little recaps are vital to comprehension. Like they really are. I'm sorry.
yes and no.
I don't care how brilliant you are.
But if you're
you don't
wa-
remember what happened, season 1, episode 3.
Sure,
like,
but if you're watching it on Netflix, they don't have them because you're watching them in a row.
fine. Do they? I
Game
thought
of
that-
Thrones isn't on Netflix.
I'm
No.
saying,
But
but
that
those
style
shows
of
don't
show.
rely on those previously on
But
because
no,
they're
but maybe aren't they part of the episode? Isn't that intro stuff part of the
whatever.
episode?
I don't
anyway,
like.
fine,
I
fine,
get
fine,
it.
fine.
Fine.
Okay,
But
let's
the
get into-
trailers are crap.
yes, let's get into more bigger picture stuff.
Yeah.
This season is being written without books as source material.
Sort of.
It's like
the show-
60-40.
Yeah, the
60-40.
showrunners,
There's a lot of stuff in there that is in the books
right, or will be in the books.
or has already been.
A lot of so the showrunners had a meeting with George R. R. Martin, and they're like, "Hey, what's the deal with some stuff that you got down? Can we use that in the show?" And some of the show is going to spoil the books that are
Right.
coming out, right? Like the whole Hodor thing is going to be in the books.
So here's the thing: is they're gonna hit those same plot points. Like Hodor's gonna die.
Yeah.
hold the door, whatever. But it's going to happen in different ways.
Okay.
Still
fine.
sort of ruins the books for me.
But yeah, I mean, like, so the point I'm getting at is like, does this show feel inherently different because there aren't books already
Supporting
written?
it.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it does.
I think it feels different. I think it's better.
Okay.
I don't think the
I think it's
conversations are better.
I think the dialogue
Yeah.
is notably worse.
The,
George R. R. Martin is so good with words, and if you look back to all the best Game of Thrones quotes from previous seasons, they were taken directly from the books. There's not one line this season that's been like, oh, that was such a good quote, except for maybe Tyrion saying, like, I drink and I know things.
Right.
So
And there hasn't been a good speech either.
So I
Yeah.
would say I don't agree that George R. R. Martin is a good writer.
He's a good storyteller.
I think he's a great storyteller, and
Yeah.
I think he's a great world builder. But when it comes to actual writing, I think he gets very distracted by boring details. See book 4, which made me want to jump off a cliff.
What? So you've read them. You haven't read
yes.
them.
I've
right?
read
So-
all of them.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
So what do you describe
think-
what you mean?
I think he has created a world that's far larger and with far more characters than the TV show has created. But the TV show is a much more focused and enjoyable experience.
Right. It's easier to digest.
Because the fact that there's
Remarkably.
like the whole like John Connington fiat like the fact that they've condensed so many characters together on the show, which is obviously a normal thing to do. But even the fact that they did that, there's still a dozen storylines going on, and the fact that the books have 24 storylines going on, I think is just bad writing. I'm
not going to necessarily disagree with that, but I will say I don't find this season, like, I'm enjoying it, but I
Sure.
think I went into this being so excited. I was like, we're going off books. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what's going to happen next.
Sure.
We're off the
And yet-
rails. Yeah.
Everything that happens, I've been able to predict. Like, oh, Melisandre is going to bring Jon Snow back.
Yeah,
the most
sure.
obvious answer.
But that
is
was going to be
always-
the obvious answer
But
in the
that's,
books too.
That's for everything. That's literally every plot point this season has been predictable,
I was
simple,
surprised.
obvious. It doesn't surprise me anymore. This
What
show
was-
used to
what-
surprise
yeah,
me.
The Sand Snake assassinating the Prince of Doran was surprising. Dorne was surprising.
Oh,
The
but,
only
like,
thing
where's
surprising in that
that?
scene was how Obara and Nymeria got to King's Landing and why Trystane was on a boat.
Weren't
Wait,
they all in the
what?
same boat?
No.
Who's,
The two sand snakes were
right. I know. They shoved the spike through the kid's face.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
basically Trystane was on the boat with Jaime and Marcella.
You didn't know that, though.
Yeah, we saw that in the finale last
yeah,
year.
he was on
but
with Merce- right.
the two sand snakes were not.
We're not there.
Right.
So they took a little boat.
No,
And
but
they
also why
caught
was
up.
Trystane still on the boat after
and
they had docked?
They did dock. They were there for a while.
And
Because
they didn't
she died, and they were probably worried about his safety.
But they didn't explain all this. They didn't explain where that boat was or how the sand snakes got there.
Yeah.
That was surprising.
That was
I don't think
surprising.
like
I mean, I wasn't shocked.
You know what's funny is like there's so many things going on, right? Like
Yeah.
they literally. I would love like a time of screen time like counter, right? Like there are some storylines
Yeah.
that have had 7 minutes of screen
Yeah,
time.
sure.
For
It must
through
be a
7
really
episodes.
easy show to shoot if you're an actor on that show.
Oh my god, you're
Because like
done
you're
in it.
right, like you could do an episode in probably 2 days.
Yeah, I would imagine.
well, I,
mean,
don't think they really film like that.
I know they
No,
don't,
but they must.
But
have,
you know what I mean. Like
they must. Yeah, I don't know.
there's
how
just
they do
so
it, but-
many storylines going on, and it's like it's not like West Wing where like everyone needs to be there for like every minute.
Right.
And it takes like 9 days to shoot. I mean, they're all broken up. The logistics of shooting that show must be insane.
It must be terrible.
But I think that's also working against the show right now is all of the characters we love are spread all over the world and
Right.
we're not getting those interesting interactions.
It's like
We're seeing-
Arrested Development on Netflix.
That's exactly what I was
right.
thinking.
Where like no one could be there at the same time. Littlefinger has been in 1 episode.
He'll be back. Like
Has it really just been one
I think it's
episode?
only been 1, maybe 2.
he was
Where
in
he
2.
spoke
We
to
saw
Sansa.
him.
He spoke to Sansa.
We saw him convince Robin.
Yeah.
And then the next
Yeah, I think it's
episode,
been-
we
Fair.
throw him through the window?
he was in 2 short scenes.
I would
like
say I agree that this season has not been full of surprises.
yes, I'll
But
agree
I-
with Sadie where I don't think it's been. I think it's been predictable.
But I would also say, like, I think the books inform some of this because, like, as you said, 40% of this, if not maybe even more, maybe 50-50, have either already been covered in the books or were so far along in the books that they really had no other choice in terms of what they could do. So I think that's part of the lack of surprise. I would also say, like, they're clearly building to, I mean, I guess the climax of the season has to be Winterfell. Do you think that's what they're building to?
I think that's the they always do
second to last episode.
Second to last one. Yeah.
There's going to be the Battle of the Bastards. There's going to be Cersei's trial.
Wait, what is? Oh, Jon Snow and
Ramsay.
Former. I also don't really like Ramsay. Everyone's over the moon about Ramsay.
No one likes Ramsay. What do you mean?
No, but like people like him as a villain. I don't think he's an interesting villain at all.
I don't think people like him as a villain anymore.
Really?
All I see are people being like, "Oh, Ramsay's evil. We get it."
Right. It's like so. It's like Joffrey. At least Cersei
Joffrey was
has like
interesting.
some rank.
Joffrey
was he?
Far more interesting
because he
was a petulant child, and watching Tywin be like, "Joffrey, go to bed," was hysterical.
Yeah.
Like, there were some layers there. Like
Sure.
he had interesting things to come up against.
Yeah.
Whereas Ramsay has
just evil
no obstacles in his way.
And even I do. I would say in terms of quote villains, I think the High Sparrow, Jonathan Pryce is great.
I think he's
excellent,
killing the part.
Yeah,
do
you know who that is?
Yeah, I just think his character is like so lame though.
But I think he's
I thought he got far more interesting in this most recent episode because for the first time he wasn't sort of playing the big game. He was really dealing with the micro things and trying to manage Marjorie. So we saw his cards a bit more.
Right. Yeah, but I think it was. I also, and you're right. When just to circle back to like things being obvious, like you knew Marjorie was like not having any of that, or she's like clearly in on something.
Yeah. They didn't. Yeah, I agree with that. But I would just say I think it's good the way they've built his character is they did such a good job of like slowly like being like, oh, he's pure. Oh, he likes
he's Grandpa
whatever.
Joe. Yeah,
but he's just as bad as everyone else.
Right. What's funny too is I don't know. Have you seen a picture of him side by side with the real Pope? They look a lot alike. I'm just saying they look a lot alike. Go look it up on the internet. Is a weird thing.
Yeah.
Okay. We've covered a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think it's hard to judge a show in the middle of especially these kinds of shows in the middle of the season.
How many do we have left? 3?
Yes.
Is it 3?
Yeah.
That is not a lot.
And also, this is supposed to be, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this the last full season? Was that a BS story?
The rumor is that there are going to be 13 more episodes after this, split up 7 and 6.
Right.
But none of this has been confirmed by HBO. But one of the directors, Jack Bender, did give an interview saying there are only going to be 7 episodes next year.
Right.
Wow.
Which is pretty crazy. And I'm sure that kills HBO's like cash cow plans.
No, it's way better. Why do you think Breaking Bad and Mad Men do it?
Right,
they split the last season.
Sure, but they want it for 4. They'd want it sticking around for 4 years.
It's always been a 7-season plan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because originally it was supposed to be a book a season.
Right.
It was always a 7-season plan.
Right. Okay.
I didn't know that. So, but they're gonna split the next group of episodes 7 and 6. Is what you're saying?
Reportedly. So the one last question I'm going to ask is: so the show ends. They know how the series, the big fight, I guess, with the others or whatever the
White Walkers.
The White Walkers.
This is also winter coming, right?
Winter's coming. Yeah. So the producers of the showrunners, know how that storyline ends because they were told 3 things that we haven't that were covered in that meeting with George R. R. Martin. They were told about Shireen being set on fire.
Who?
Shireen, the little girl, Stannis' daughter that gets set on fire last season.
Okay.
They were told about Hodor.
Right.
And they were told how the like big arc ends. So I feel like
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's right. That's it. Is that what you've heard as well?
Well, I know they knew how the show was going to end, but I thought that they described it as like 3 oh shit moments. And I thought the third was something we haven't seen yet that isn't how it ends. There's like I read it as like there's another like big moment they know about.
I love
I guess the question I have is like, look, the show if it ends after those 13 episodes, like you said, theoretically, again, all reportedly, if it ends there, that has to be the final battle between, like, they can't end it before that battle happens unless they want to do movies and stuff like that, right? It's pretty...
I think the battle will happen in the show. Ideally, I think it should end after that because one thing I really miss in the show that we had in the books was we keep getting all these big moments of, like, war and tragedy, and the books was really good at exploring the fallout of that and sort of the consequences of war, and the show is just like, no, we're just going to keep doing other battles, and I would like to see the show explore... what happens after the big battle.
So maybe the Winds of Winter is the end of the, like, that ends with the big battle, and then the last book 7 is all just like
A dream for spring.
Well, yeah, it's basically, I mean, the titles sort of imply that to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would be motivated to read the books after seeing the show if they did that much. I really don't think
I think the books are going to have so much more interesting things happening.
I think they will have things happening, but like it takes me so long to get through these books. It's just like so much time, and it's like, oh, I know that this guy's going to die. Stuff like that. It's very discouraging.
This season is making me more excited to read the books because I want to see how George R. R. Martin does it, especially like with Dorne. Like they screwed Dorne over so
they barely talk
hard
about
in
Dorne.
the show, and I just want to know like what the point of them in the books is.
I mean, in the books, it's not been handled super well either.
Dorne is not my favorite in the books.
Sure.
But like I want to know their purpose. Maybe it's a morbid curiosity.
Yeah,
but, like, I want to know.
Why did you waste all this time talking about Dorne in the books? I know what you mean. It is interesting because they are like at this weird X factor that doesn't seem to factor into the whole like prepping for battle thing. And there are a few like ditto with the Iron Men and stuff like that. There's like a few elements that don't totally match up.
Yeah, like where do they just play into?
I think they are probably going to be the ones that ferry Dany over in their boats.
Here's my theory.
Oh, okay, good. Let's finish up with the theory. Let's finish it up with that.
I think Euron Greyjoy is funding the Sons of the Harpy.
Euron is Theon's sister.
No. Euron is their uncle who is just
the king.
crowned.
He's the king.
Yeah.
He's the new king.
You think he is funding the Sons of the Harpy, even though when Tyrion like confronted those dudes,
No. They said the slavers said no.
Yeah,
and
but they were like no, and they rolled their eyes.
We saw Varys interrogating a woman, and then it cut away from the actual reveal of her saying who was funding it. I think that's a really odd way to do that. It was like he's like, okay, tell me who it is, and then it's Varys walking over to Tyrion and be like, I found out it's the slavers. That's suspect to me. The slavers denied it. Also, like, if the slavers want Daenerys to leave, why would they burn her quickest transportation to Westeros? She wants to go and leave.
Yeah.
Why would they take that away? Euron is like, we're going to build 1,000 ships. And then guess how many ships Daenerys says she needs? She needs 1,000.
Sure. Also, how are they going to build their ships?
Oh, it's total nonsense.
He told 12 people to build 1,000 ships
on an island that has no trees.
Yeah.
My point is
that we got rocks.
That's so much more interesting to me if Euron is like playing this long game of like destroying Daenerys' fleet and forcing her into an alliance.
I just don't know where all that leverage would come
Give
from.
Sadie credit.
That
man.
is the leverage. Having the ships is the leverage.
That's
He
correct.
burns them so he can be like, hey, I have 1,000 ships. I'll take you there. Like, marry me.
I gotta hand it to Sadie.
It's interesting.
That's why she's a TV guy. That's why you do what you do.
Totally.
That's why you get paid the big bucks.
Thank you, Reddit.
Oh, is that all it is? God damn it! Why'd you show your hand?
It's like part me and part Reddit.
Right.
Yeah.
It's you and Reddit
and Twitter.
And Twitter. Okay, I love it.
General internet.
There's nothing better than conspiracy theories. I mean, I kind of, you knew the whole thing about Jon Snow.
Right.
I guess that wasn't that much of like a shocker.
Were you surprised?
Well,
by that?
I was surprised at how shitty his resurrection was. Because it was dumb.
I thought you were talking about his parentage.
No. Yeah, well, that is that everyone knows that too.
Sure.
They have to do that this season too. With
They've
his
already
real parents.
started doing it.
Yeah.
They have, but like, let's tie that up. The way Melisandre brought him back, she was like,
it was lame.
Here's a little sand on your face. Come on.
It was lame.
Bringing someone back's got to be harder than that.
Also, if you look at Beric Dondarrion, his wounds never healed, whereas Jon is fine.
Yeah.
Like, he should have, like,
gashes.
gaping wounds still on his chest.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen him shirtless, but, like,
unfortunately.
They also haven't dealt with the fact that, like, his body would be, like, 3 days decayed or whatever.
Yeah. He should always just have flies buzzing around him. That'd be funny for the rest of the season. Sadie Gennis, thank you so much for being here. This was a pleasure. Where can people follow you on Twitter?
At Sadie Gennis, spelled like tennis, not the beer.
Not the, Guinness. No, we don't want Guinness. It's Guinness. Tennis. Got it. What you have anything you want to promote specifically this weekend while people are getting ready for Game of Thrones? Anything going on? No big piece. You write a big story lately?
I don't know. We always have a bunch of Game of Thrones coverage, so come to TV Guide. We're going to have a video this week getting all into why Daenerys may be one of the villains in the show.
Oh, she's heel for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
She's the Mad King.
She's heel. Yeah, she's heel. And like, you know, I don't know, there's a lot of time travel in the show now, so it's like, that's a thing.
How would that affect Daenerys?
I don't know. Just saying, like, she could be a time traveler.
She could be the Mad King.
Yeah, like, she could actually be the Mad King.
Sure.
Well, they did introduce time travel, for the record, in this season. They're like,
Yes.
oh, by the way, time travel's a thing.
To a certain extent.
They did. The idea of it.
They did, but they also established that it's a set time, so you can't change anything.
Right. The line has been written.
Right.
And then, Russ, what do you got going on at the Polygon?
What do we got going on? Still a bunch of Overwatch stuff, Mirror's Edge stuff. If you're curious about Mirror's Edge, whether it's good, I wrote a piece about how it made me want to vomit.
Yeah.
Did I talk about it on the show? Well, I wrote a piece about it. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go over to polygon.com. And
I don't love that game.
E3 is next week, so we'll
I don't
have
love
a bunch
that game.
of E3 stuff. Nor do I.
Yeah, the game's not
because of the
that
vomit.
Yeah, the puking has the thing, but like that game's just not the best.
Yeah.
All right, we're back next. No, that's it. So we're gonna. Okay, so
2 weeks.
today's the 10th, 17th. We're not gonna have a show.
Right.
I'll be at E3.
Yeah.
But then the 24th we'll be back, rocking and rolling.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks again to Sadie. That will do it for us. Until next time, 866-404-CNET. That is the phone number. Really appreciate you sticking around and listening to the show. We will see you next time. Have a good one.